Imagine living in complete silence, where the only sounds around you are the ones you can't even hear. Now imagine being trapped in your own home, completely alone, with a relentless killer lurking in the shadows. You can't scream. You can't call for help. You can't even hear him coming. Every creaking floorboard, every whisper of the wind, every silent movement could mean the difference between life and death. This is the terrifying reality of Maddie, a deaf writer living in isolation. Until one night, a sadistic masked intruder decides to play a deadly game with her. A game where the odds are stacked against her. Can she outsmart the killer without being able to hear a single sound? Or will silence be her downfall? Stick around as we break down the nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat horror thriller. Hush. Maddie Young had once been a girl filled with laughter, her voice ringing through the air like any other. But at the age of 13, bacterial meningitis stole that part of her, leaving behind a world of silence. The illness had ravaged her body, taking her hearing entirely and leaving her vocal cords paralyzed. Doctors had held out hope, attempting surgery to restore her voice, but fate had other plans. The procedure failed, sealing her silence forever. Despite this cruel twist of fate, Maddie refused to let her condition define her. Through sheer determination, she carved out a place for herself in the literary world, pouring her voice into ink and paper. Her novel, Midnight Mass, a chilling and masterful horror story, received widespread acclaim, propelling her into the spotlight. But with success came expectation, and the pressure to craft her next masterpiece weighed heavily on her shoulders. Overwhelmed by writer's block and yearning for an escape from the chaos of New York City, she made a bold decision: to retreat from the world. Now she resides in complete solitude, tucked away in a secluded home deep in the woods. No sounds of the city, no distractions, just the rustling of the trees outside her window and the silent company of her cat. Here, she hopes to find inspiration once more, unaware that something far more sinister lurks just beyond the trees. Her friendly neighbor, Sarah, with a warm smile, Sarah returns a copy of Midnight Mass, gushing over how much she loved it. As they exchange words through a mix of signing and lip reading, the conversation drifts to Maddie's solitary life. Sarah expresses admiration for her strength, but also concern. Doesn't she ever feel lonely out here, so far from the world? Maddie, in her usual quiet resilience, simply shrugs, offering a small smile. Sarah, always eager to connect, promises to learn more sign language so they can talk more easily next time. It's a small moment, a fleeting exchange between friends. One Maddie will later wish she had held on to just a little longer. That night, as Maddie settles in, unaware of the growing nightmare outside, Sarah is running for her life. Panic in her eyes, she reaches the house, pounding frantically on the glass, screaming for help. Her cries shatter the quiet of the night, but inside, Maddie hears nothing. On the other side of the glass, Sarah's breath comes in ragged gasps as the killer looms behind her, blade glinting under the moonlight. With a swift, merciless motion, he strikes. Sarah collapses, her lifeblood spilling onto the wooden deck, and inside, oblivious to the horror unfolding just feet away, Maddie continues on with her night, alone in her world of silence, unaware that the real nightmare is just beginning. The masked intruder, lurking in the darkness, watches Maddie with an unsettling curiosity. Unlike his past victims, she doesn't scream. She doesn't react to the creak of the floorboards or the whispers of the wind through shattered glass. It takes him mere moments to understand. Maddie is deaf, and to him, that makes the hunt far more entertaining. Moving like a ghost through her home, he takes what she doesn't realize is missing: her phone. At that very moment, Maddie is on a video call with her sister, Max, her attention focused on the screen. A message pops up, then another. Her stomach twists in confusion as she clicks to open them. Her breath catches in her throat. They are pictures. Pictures of her, taken just seconds ago. A chill races down Maddie's spine as she slowly turns her head. Outside, just beyond the glass, the masked figure emerges from the shadows. His presence is no longer a secret. He wants her to see him, wants her to know she is being watched. A cruel smile curls beneath his mask as Maddie bolts into action, slamming doors shut, locking windows, sealing herself inside her own home. But the illusion of safety lasts mere moments. The power goes out. The hum of electricity vanishes. The comforting glow of her laptop fades. He's not just trapping her inside. He's cutting off every possible means of escape. Then, thud. A dull noise from outside. A soft pop. The sound of tires deflating. Heart pounding, Maddie scrambles for any advantage. With trembling hands, she grabs a tube of lipstick and scrawls across the glass door in bold, desperate letters. Won't tell, didn't see face, boyfriend coming home. The killer pauses, tilting his head in amusement. Then, without hesitation, he reaches up and rips off his mask. Now that she has seen his face, there are no negotiations, no mercy. He steps forward, wordlessly declaring his intent. Maddie is going to die tonight. What follows is not just a fight, it is war. The killer wastes no time toying with his prey. He lifts Sarah's lifeless body and bangs it against the window, forcing Maddie to witness the brutality of what awaits her. Her stomach twists, but she refuses to break. Thinking fast, she triggers her car alarm, the blaring noise momentarily disorienting the killer. Seizing her chance, she pushes open a window, stretching desperately for Sarah's discarded phone. The killer is fast, too fast. He lunges, but Maddie reacts on instinct, swinging a hammer wildly. A sickening crack echoes through the night as the weapon connects with his arm. A grunt of pain follows. She wastes no time retreating, slamming the window shut, her mind racing. Each attempt at escape is met with brutal resistance. When she makes a run for it, arrows whistle past her, one embedding itself in her leg. Pain explodes up her body, but she grits her teeth and keeps going. The killer climbs after her, relentless. Just when Maddie begins to accept the grim reality that no one is coming, that she is utterly alone, a pair of headlights cut through the darkness. A car rumbles up the gravel path, the tires crunching against the earth. Maddie doesn't hear it, but the killer does. John. Sarah's boyfriend steps out of the car, confusion written across his face. He glances at Maddie's house, noticing the lights are out. Something feels off. He calls Sarah's name, expecting her to step onto the porch, laughing at some silly prank. But the night swallows his voice. No reply comes. The killer, posing as a police officer, tries to deceive him. But John grows suspicious after spotting Sarah's earring in the killer's hand. As John prepares to fight back, Maddie, unaware of what's happening, accidentally distracts him by banging on the window. In that split second, The killer seizes the opportunity and stabs John in the neck. But before dying, John uses his last ounce of strength to put the killer in a chokehold, buying Maddie precious time. Maddie now realizes the harsh truth. She cannot run. With her injuries and the killer closing in, escape is no longer an option. Her only chance of survival is to fight back. In a moment of cruelty, the killer attempts to kill her cat, but Maddie manages to shoot him in the shoulder with the crossbow. She rushes inside but drops the last arrow. Just as she reaches for it, the killer slams the sliding door on her wrist, crushing her hand. He watches as she writhes in pain, relishing every moment. But Maddie, in defiance, smears her own blood on the glass, writing, "Do it, coward!" Furious, the killer begins smashing the door with a tire iron. Maddie, knowing she may not make it, types out a message on her laptop, a final description of the killer, a message to her loved ones. The killer finally forces his way inside. Maddie, now locked in the bathroom, feels his breath against her neck before she even knows he's there. In a desperate move, she stabs him in the knee and rushes to the kitchen, where she blinds him with insecticide and disorients him with her visual smoke alarm. The final fight is brutal. The killer gets his hands around her throat, strangling the life out of her. But Maddie refuses to give in. With one last burst of strength, she grabs a corkscrew and drives it into his neck, finally ending his reign of terror. Breathing heavily, she collapses in exhaustion. The nightmare is over. As the sirens wail in the distance, Maddie retrieves her phone from the killer's corpse and dials 911. She steps outside, cradling her cat in her arms, smiling as the police arrive. Silence was her weakness, but in the end, it became her greatest weapon.